The news continues live on SNN, the Suncoast News Network, your local news leader.
Hello everyone, I'm Eric Wilson. Thanks for joining us here on the SNN Evening Edition. We begin this half hour in Kansas City, where a teenager named Ralph Yarl is in the hospital after he accidentally went to the wrong house to pick up his brothers one night last week and was shot by the homeowner. Police say Yarl's family said he was given the address 115th Terrace, but he mistakenly went to 115th Street instead. The shooter was taken into custody and later released. CNN's Camilla Bernal has more.
The Kansas City community protesting on Sunday after 16-year-old Ralph Yarl was shot as he was trying to pick up his siblings last week. Police say Yarl accidentally went to the wrong address, where he was shot and seriously wounded by the homeowner. Officers arrived at the scene after a neighbor called 911 and took the homeowner immediately into custody.
Our heart goes out to the juvenile victim, and more than anything, to make sure that this child and this child's family knows that there are people working hard, a number of people working hard, to make sure there is justice for this person.
The homeowner, who has not been identified, was released after 24 hours pending further investigation. The police department says they're waiting to obtain a formal statement from the victim and further forensic evidence.
I want everyone to know that I'm listening, and I understand the concern that we are receiving from the community. The information that we have now, it does not say that it's racially motivated. That's still an active investigation. But as a chief of police, I do recognize the racial components of this case. I do recognize and understand the community's concern.
Yarl's aunt says her nephew loves music and is a section leader in his marching band. She says his goal is to attend Texas A&M University to study chemical engineering. Civil rights attorneys Lee Merritt and Benjamin Crump are representing the victim and his family and demanding swift action, and are calling the shooting horrendous and unjustifiable.
As a mother of 3 children, this enrages me.
And protesters gathering Sunday outside the home where Yarl was shot, demanding justice.
He is alive. He is healing. Yes. So I just want to tell you thank you for being here, because my nephew is alive.
Thank you, Camilla. The homeowner was released, as you heard in the piece, because according to Missouri state law, a person can either be charged or released after being held for 24 hours. Police are going to get a formal statement from Yarl and gather more evidence. In more news, deadly mass shooting investigations are underway in 2 states. In Alabama, at least 4 people are dead following a Sweet 16 birthday party where at least 15 teens were treated for gunshot wounds. Meanwhile, in Kentucky, at least 2 people are dead and multiple people were injured in a shooting. Shelly Molashi has the latest.
Please do not let this moment define what you think about the city of Dadeville and our fine people.
In Alabama, an emotional Sunday following a deadly mass shooting that was tied to a birthday celebration Saturday night, according to the Dadeville City Police Department.
What we've dealt with is something that no community should have to endure. I just ask for your patience. It's going to be a long process.
Due to the ongoing investigation, Alabama law enforcement officials have yet to release the ages of those killed.
From what I understand, had somebody in there that had a gun, somehow walked in with a gun and just opened up fire.
We're going to continue to work through in a very methodical way to go through this scene, to look at the facts, and ensure that justice is brought to bear for the families.
The Alabama shooting happened about an hour after shots were fired into a large crowd at a park in Louisville, Kentucky. At least 2 people were killed and several others are being treated for gunshot wounds, according to the Louisville Metro Police Department. Right now, Kentucky investigators are working to identify a suspect or suspects and determine a motive. I'm Shelly Molashi reporting.
Thank you, Shelley. According to Gun Violence Archive so far, the U.S. has suffered at least 163 mass shootings in the first 15 weeks of 2023. It's an average of more than 1.5 mass shootings every day so far this year. Mass shootings have also escalated to a record pace, and now there's new evidence that mass shootings in the U.S. have a ripple effect on Americans' mental health. A CDC-funded study found a mental health crisis line saw a spike in messages referencing guns and other firearm-related terms just after the Uvalde, Texas school shooting. Nearly 1 in 5 adults has had a family member killed by a gun, including in homicide and suicide. Roughly 1 in 6 has witnessed an injury from a gun. In more news, a mother is suing her child's former school, claiming the school didn't tell her the child was using a different gender identity. Her high-powered legal team says this is unconstitutional, while LGBTQ advocates say the school was doing right by the student. David Guilford has more.
If a child identifies themselves with a different gender at school than they do at home, does the school have a constitutional responsibility to tell that child's parents? That's the core of an argument that started here at the Great Salt Bay School in Damariscotta, and it's one that's already gained national attention. Amber Levine of Newcastle is suing the school. Last December, Levine said she found a chest binder used to flatten someone's breasts in her 13-year-old child's room. Levine says the school either provided it or helped obtain it. Then she alleges she learned the school began using different pronouns and names for her child, all without telling her. Her attorneys say that violates Levine's 14th Amendment rights to liberty, arguing the public school infringed on her freedom to educate and raise her child as she saw fit. Those attorneys work for the Goldwater Institute, a conservative think tank based in Arizona that has thrown its weight behind gay and trans cases in the past. Adam Shelton is representing Levine.
What we're saying is that once school officials take an active step with regards to any sort of decision that directly affects the mental health or physical well-being of a child, they must tell the parents. But it's only once the school officials take some sort of affirmative step on their end with respect to a child.
We reached out to the school and the district for comment, but have not yet received a reply. Meanwhile, Mary Bonato, an attorney with GLBTQ Legal Advocates and Defenders, or GLAD, said schools have a responsibility to parents, yes, but their first priority is to the well-being and learning environment for their students.
This is a legal complaint of a parent against a school for doing what schools are supposed to do, which is to be student-centered and to make sure that when students come to school, they have a safe, welcoming, supportive environment where they can be comfortable in their own skin and do what they are supposed to do at school, which is to be able to learn and develop.
Thank you, David. Shelton said Levine wants the court to force the school to create new policies compelling staff to communicate and tell parents the psychosexual development of the student. He expects the case to move forward later this spring. A substitute teacher in Mesquite, Texas has been fired after allegedly organizing student fights in class. A 13-year-old student shot this video of the incident at Kimbo Middle School on Wednesday. The mother fears for her daughter's safety and says that her daughter is receiving threats for shooting the video. According to the district's investigation, the teacher encouraged fights, outlined rules for the kids to follow, and even had a student monitor the classroom door while the fights took place. The Mesquite School District has confirmed the incident, and the mother is considering hiring a lawyer. In more news, a pizza delivery driver helped police in Pennsylvania nab a suspect, and his brave act was caught on video. Brianna Gallagher has this story.
A car just came up and beached doing 75. He beached onto the side of this person's lawn, almost took out a couple cars.
Just one of the many delivery stops Tyler Morrell was making today while working for Coco's Pizza Aston. He just so happened to find himself in the middle of a high-speed chase. No! According to Brookhaven Police, just after 3:30 p.m., officers were in pursuit of a stolen car from Upper Darby. The stolen car crashes on Preston Street in Middletown Township. The suspects get out, and that's when Tyler steps in.
I started walking towards the road, and I was like, I can't do anything with my hands because I'm holding the pizza, so I just stuck my leg out.
Police say because of Tyler and his quick feet, they were able to make an arrest.
He gave us the help we needed, which, by tripping him, gave us the time to be able to catch up to the gentleman.
I'm pretty sick of seeing crime like that go on, especially a half a mile down the road. So I was just ready to step up, and if they needed a hand, I was there, or a foot, whatever.
Police were able to arrest both suspects, including the one that took a tumble.
1 second he was in the air, and the next second he was just on the ground.
After all of this, the pizza was delivered safely.
In this case, this guy, I mean, ultimately he saved the day, and from what I hear, the pizza was saved as well.
10 out of 10 delivered.
Thank you, Brianna. Authorities have filed multiple charges against the suspects in this case. All right, now a quick look at our Weather Authority forecast with Chief Meteorologist Justin Mosley.
All right, thanks there, Eric, and hi again, everybody. As we take a look at our current temperatures, we are in the upper 70s, and the numbers are coming down behind our front. And all kinds of showers and thunderstorms earlier today at the airport. We had over 2.5 inches from big thunderstorms early this morning, especially in Bradenton. Not as much over Sarasota, but 76 right now in Bradenton, 76 in Venice, 77 in Inglewood. The winds are from the northwest. It's a cooler and drier wind direction, and they're kind of gusty. You can see sustained winds now 10 to 15 miles per hour. We're seeing gusts even stronger than that. Lots of sunshine for today. You can see all the showers and thunderstorms exiting South Florida and the Treasure Coast, and things will be nice and cool for tonight as a crisp new air mass is building in. Our dew point 56, this number is going down, so we're heading in that dry category. And as we take you hour by hour, skies are mostly clear. Northwest wind 10 to 15, and temperatures cooling off. At 2 o'clock in the morning, we will be in the middle 60s. We'll come back, update our 7A, and see how long the cooler and drier weather is going to stick around with our 7A in just a few.
Thank you, Justin. Still ahead on the SNN Evening Edition, a mother speaks out about her son that was killed in the deadly plant explosion that happened a decade ago. Find out more details after the break.